Hey everybody, it's Jacob with J&J Engraves. I'm going to be practicing some glass today. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. You can buy these little frames from Dollar General, Dollar Store, somewhere like that. I pick them up for like $3 a piece. If they're damaged, you can sometimes get them for like a discount. Like if the little thing on the back's bent, that doesn't mean go out and bend them, but you know, if you do notice like the little stand on the back's broke or something, a lot of times they'll sell them for half off, so just something to keep in mind. But I'm going to show you the process I'm doing today. Just using some gloss black paint. That's all I'm using. Spray paint out of a can and one of these Dollar General frames. So I'm going to show you how I've set everything up and we'll go from there. Alright, so down here I've got my glass. I've outlined I've scored the area where that glass is going to sit, so wherever I put that is where it's going to, be. Whatever I put in Lightburn, it's going to put it in that area, so I don't have to worry about like arranging it or aligning it too much. I've got it kind of where I want it. Alright, so there it is. This thing, I did it a couple days ago, so it's a little dusty, this one is. But what I want to do is we're going to set up the laser in Lightburn here, and we're going to engrave off this glass, this paint, the black paint. And when we're done, we're going to take a glossy white, and we're going to spray that over the backside here. And the idea is when you flip it over, it should have a really nice image. And as we go through, you'll see in the end. But this is how I'm setting everything up. You get your glass piece out of the frame, put it down, put about a nice even layer of black paint on it. Let it dry for about a day if you can, at least a couple hours until it's completely dry. That's the best method. And then throw it, scorch your area on the bed here, and then place the glass down. And then I'm going to go over some of the settings in Lightburn and how to adjust the image to work on the glass. So hopefully everything turns out good. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so I've got the rock here in the Photoshop. We're just going to do a few color corrections and everything before we put it back in the Lightburn. This is what we're going to put on this thing, man. He's looking jacked. Rock used to not be that big when I was growing up. I'd say he's, has he done a little bit of some steroid usage? I don't know. But anyways, let's get into it. So whenever you're in Photoshop here, you want to go up to Image, you want to go down to Adjustments, and you'll find Shadows and Highlights. That'll bring up your Shadows and Highlights menu over here. The amount is the amount that it's going to change, or the amount that's going to affect. The tone, if you drag it down, it makes it darker. If you drag it up, it makes it lighter. And then the radius affects just kind of the pattern that goes into. Oh god, look at that. Made it real white. We don't want to do that. We also kind of want to drag, this is to lighten the shadows up. So we want to do that. Make sure you're lightening the shadows. You want to darken it. I'll show you why in a second whenever we get into the layers grid, what you're trying to achieve. So we're going to go ahead and adjust these highlights up a little bit. We're going to make these things darker. We're going to make that radius up a little bit. Take these midtones, jack them up a little bit. And I think that's pretty cool. Let's see, let's say okay on that. Now we're going to go, we can go up to Image, Adjustments, and then you can go down to Layers, I think it is. Levels, yeah, right here. Or you can press Control L. That's way easier, just press Control L. But this is the long way to do it if you don't like shortcuts. And you can see this graph here. What we've done, we've taken all that white that was up in here, we've kind of pushed it down to this area, and as you drag that little triangle to the right over, it's going to brighten those areas up. And you can see you got really, really bright in some areas. You may want to tone that down a little bit. There we go, we got that. You can also adjust this in the middle and kind of change things, but I think we're going to make it a little darker. We're just going to bring it up to there, because that looks pretty darn good. I'm going to say okay. Before we exit out of this thing, I'm going to go up to my layer, and I'm going to go to layer style, and we're going to add a stroke around the rock here. That way he kind of pops out of the background a little bit. We definitely don't want it to be that color. That would be crazy. So we're going to go back into here, go to gradient. We're just going to go to color. Got black. We don't want it to be that big. Let's roll this bad boy down to like 3. I like 2. That looked pretty cool. Alright, so press OK. Now you've got the rock. That's how he's going to hopefully look when we put him in the engraver. We're going to go to image at the end. You're going to go to image size, 763, 1048. Yeah, that's fine. Let's change this resolution. We're gonna do 318. Just change it to that. That's gonna change our pixel pattern, our pixels per inch to 318. Hopefully, when we bring it over to Lightburn, we'll do the 318 DPI, and that'll make it a pretty good, a good matchup. So you go to quick export as PNG. I can't talk today. I'm sorry. We're just going to go ahead and save. I'm going to overwrite the one I had before. Say, name it the Rock 2 if you don't want to overwrite. We're going to go back into Lightburn here. We're going to delete this original. And then we're going to go Control I, and we're going to pop in the new one that we did. Alright, so we're going to take this bad boy. To rotate it, you can press the period button, and it'll rotate the image. So we're going to rotate him. I'm going to hold down the control key and select this other one. Hang on just a second, and we're going to line everything up in there. Hang on just a moment. Alright, so now that I got both of those selected, I'm going to go up here to the top. I'm going to go align, make over here to the left one. We're going to go align right. We're going to go back over to the right one. We're going to go align horizontal center. We're going to take the rock here and only select rocks. Deselect everything, click back on the rock. Since we want to scale it from this point, we can click this point here. You can go over to your width and height, and now when you roll that up and adjust it, it will make it bigger from that point, so you don't have to worry about rescaling it up and everything. So I'd say that's pretty darn close to what we want. Before I go into anything else, I'm going to right click on it. We're going to go down to, oh sorry, not used to holding the camera like this, adjust image. We do want it negative. Yes, we do want it negative. So we're going to go ahead and keep that clicked, change this to 318 instead of 325. We're going to go over here, 25, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I usually do that on about every photo. And then I think I want to unclick negative just to see what it looks like. We're on Jarvis mode, so I think this will turn out pretty decent. Let's try her out. So we got her in there. Everything's good. Let's press OK. Everything's lined up. Let's hit our preview button just to make sure everything's looking good. Sorry about my so that's going to take me about 30 minutes to engrave on my current settings, and actually I don't even know what my current settings are, so that's probably going to be a little longer than that. Let's go red, because that's usually what I use for my engravings. Okay everybody, so I made a big mistake here. When I changed it from orange to red in the layer color, I didn't go back and double check that it was a negative image. You always need to triple, double, quadruple check that every time, especially if you're working with something that requires a negative image. So learn from my mistakes here. And these settings are way off, man. I got a Galvo, and for whatever reason it saves your Galvo layer settings the same as your CO2 controller settings. I don't like that. I wish there was a way to change that around, but unfortunately I haven't figured it out yet. I definitely want it faster at 20 though. We want 200 speed, 22 power. You know what, this is on glass, let's go 18 power. And we've got our dot width correction on. I'm gonna leave that on. I kind of like that when I'm working on glass. I'm running a 100 watt CO2 with a 2.5 inch lens focus. So these settings may be different from yours depending on what machine you're using, but that's where I'm going to run this at. So we've got it all lined up, and I'm going to press start and have this bad boy run. Let's see how it goes. Alright, so we had a boo-boo already. When I switched it over my layer color to red from orange, I didn't check to see if it was negative or not. So this bottom portion down here was done regular. I had to end up starting the engraving over, and we're starting from the top, working our way down. Unfortunately, this one won't be perfect, and I don't have another frame to do this on, but I'm still going to finish it up just to see what it looks like. You guys can still you know, you'll be able to tell the end result. You'll just see where I flubbed right here. It'll look a little goofy, but for the most part, it'll still look cool. It's turning out good already, I can tell. Once we add that white paint and we flip it over, it'll be even cooler. So let's keep at it. Hopefully you guys learned something still, even though you learn from my mistakes and my and my successes. We'll play that game. How about that? I probably about another 5 minutes or so until it gets to the point where I screwed up, and I'm gonna shut it off, and then we're gonna add the white paint. Actually, we're gonna blow it off as condensed air, and then we're gonna add the white paint to it. So just give it a little bit more time. We'll do that, and we'll see how this bad boy turns out. Even though we already kind of know the answer a little bit, but all right, let's let it do its thing. All right, that's about there. So that little bit of black disappears. All right, so there she is. She's all finished up. I'm gonna pull her out of here, and we're gonna blow her off with some compressed air. So stay tuned. What the hell? What the hell? Why? I feel like he looks right now. Ah! Good fragile ass rock, not able to jeeps. Put it in the dump of other crap. Well, we've got this far. Let's just go ahead and spray some white on the back so we can see what this bad boy looks like. This has just been a disaster. Good thing this ain't for like a paying customer or something. I couldn't even spray off it. I hit it with the air compressor, and the glass literally snapped in my fingers. So like, it wasn't me being clumsy or anything. It was just bad luck. So one tip I'll give you, if you're using spray paint, make sure you shake the living heck out of it. I mean, shake it like it's never been shook before. You want to make sure all that solvent is mixed with the paint. If not, when you hit this black surface that you've made with the other paint, if you're hitting it with nothing but solvent, you'll get these nasty bubbles and it'll ruin your entire thing. So that's a super important part, is just shake the living shit out of it. And then actually it's not even a bad idea to spray the excess out on like the side here before you actually hit it on the glass. So we're gonna go, and that's all you're gonna do. You're just gonna go back and forth over it. Make sure we got plenty on there. Alright, so we're gonna flip her over, see what she looks like. You know, I don't really care about if it is done. I'm just trying not to cut myself here. Goodness gracious me. And that's what it looks like, you know. Probably could have done a little better. Maybe a little high on the power there. But you know, pretty funny video nonetheless. But yeah, definitely right in here I'm getting those bubbles, I think. Yeah, you can see them. Good God. That's that solvent, man. I hate using matte. I should use gloss. I said gloss from the very beginning. I didn't have any. Use this damn stupid matte paint. Don't ever use this stuff. This stuff sucks. Sucky, sucky, sucky matte. Matte is booty. Booty. It's no good. It never works for me. At any time, if I use matte or flat or anything like that, it screws everything up. So anyways, those are those ugly bubbles that I was talking about. Man, everything that could have went wrong with this video has went wrong. Like, this is like this is more of a documentary on what not to do when you're laser engraving. So if you're watching this video, just do everything opposite of what I did, and you'll probably be really successful. Yeah. So hopefully you're not going to do anything I did in this video. If you liked it and everything, be sure you leave a like button and subscribe. I'll try to do better next time. My bad. But you know, let's turn this bad boy over. Let's see what. Look at that. Look at that. Where the bubbles are. Blah, 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 blah. You don't want that. That just screwed the whole thing up. And up here where it didn't bubble so much, you know, it's a little better. But it bubbled all over the damn place. Awful. Awful. So disappointed in myself. I'm gonna go do something that I know I'm good at, and then I'll feel better about life. But okay, peace out.